Welcome to Fix It Home Improvement, covering projects that every homeowner should know and great products for home and garden.
Hi, I'm JC, and this is where we share home improvement tips. I'm here with my co-host, Cindy.
Hello, JC.
Hi, Cindy. This week we're going to be talking about how to maintain a sliding patio door. And we'd like to thank Rust's Hardware for liking and sharing the podcast. Sliding patio doors became popular in the 1950s. Builders and realtors were marketing homes with patio doors as a way to bring the outside and light inside with an expansive view of your patio, backyard, and garden. The Anderson Corporation started producing sliding patio doors in 1953, and Pella started making wood sliding glass doors in the 1960s.
What are the parts of a sliding glass door and how does it work?
The most common sliding patio doors have two glass doors that set on a track. The track has two rails that the rollers on the doors ride on. The top track has two channels to keep the doors in place. The rollers on the bottom of the doors are generally held in a housing called a roller assembly that can be replaced when the individual rollers get damaged. Most roller assemblies will have one or two rollers, and you'll have two roller assemblies, one on each side of the door.
Okay. Are there rollers on top?
Most doors only have rollers on the bottom. With most sliding patio doors, you have one main door that opens and closes. The other door is fixed. The glass is double pane for energy efficiency, and there can be a coating that reflects sunlight to reduce heat in summer.
Okay. How large are patio doors?
The overall size of standard patio doors are 60 inches by 80 inches or 72 inches by 80 inches. The door that opens will have a locking mechanism, and most patio doors will have a sliding screen that covers the opening when the main door is open. Patio doors also have tempered glass for safety.
Okay. What are some features of tempered glass?
Tempered glass is heated to a high temperature, over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, then it's cooled, which makes it about 4 times stronger than standard glass. It's pretty interesting. It also makes the glass safer. If the glass breaks, it shatters into small, rounded pieces that are less likely to cause an injury. Tempered glass is used for car glass, skylights, shower doors, and tables.
Okay. What are some problems that occur with a sliding glass door over time?
The main door can get out of alignment and not close properly. The locking mechanism can also get out of alignment and your door won't lock. The track that the door's rollers ride on can get damaged, making it hard to open and close the door. The rollers can get damaged over time, so it's hard to open and close the door. Weather strip gets worn or damaged, and caulking around the door can shrink or pull away from the door, and that should be removed and replaced with new caulk.
Okay. How do you know if you need to adjust the alignment?
Open the door slightly so there's a small gap between the edge of the door and the door frame. You should have an even parallel gap. If it's wider at the top or the bottom, you can adjust the rollers so it fits properly when it's closed. Most rollers can be raised or lowered with a screwdriver through a hole at the bottom of the door on the front and back edge. Or you're going to have two holes to adjust the rollers on the bottom face of the door. For holes on the bottom face, you're probably going to have a decorative cover that you're going to need to pry off with a small slotted screwdriver.
Okay.
A number 2 screwdriver works for many roller assemblies, but some require a small or medium-sized slotted screwdriver. And if you have a very small hole, you can use a cabinet slotted screwdriver. A cabinet screwdriver is just very narrow at the end, so it's easy to get in small holes. When you're adjusting the roller assembly, make small adjustments to the rollers, like a half a turn. For many doors, you'll turn the screw clockwise to raise the door and turn it counterclockwise to lower the door. You'd adjust the rollers so the door is just above the sill track and the weather strip is making contact on the top and the bottom of the door. And if you're having an issue with the latch not locking, sometimes just adjusting the door will allow the latch to lock.
Okay. How would you fix a door that isn't locking?
Many patio doors have a hook-shaped latch that pivots down to unlock the door, and it pivots up into a strike plate to lock the door. If the latch isn't locking, a common solution is just adjusting the strike plate up or down so the latch catches.
Okay.
You would loosen the screws and move the strike plate. Some latches, though, have an adjustment screw on the edge of the door to allow the latch to extend more if it's not reaching the strike plate or not extend so far. And this is handy if your door is loose when you lock it.
Mm-hmm.
You would just move that latch back a little bit, and then you're going to have a tight fit when the door is locked.
Okay.
But locking mechanisms vary. In your townhouse, for example, you have an old patio door on your second floor with a hooked latch that drops down to lock. Your patio door downstairs is newer, and it has two latches. One pivots up and one pivots down into the strike plate to lock the door.
Ooh, fancy.
So once you look at your door, you can usually figure out why it's not latching. For your patio door upstairs, which wasn't locking, you have a latch that pivots up and down well, but it just wasn't catching. So I adjusted the door and it still wasn't locking. And rather than a standard strike plate, which is a metal piece with a hole in it for the latch, your door has a short piece of metal that the latch drops down over, and it wasn't quite reaching it. So I pulled that piece forward with a pair of pliers, and now your door locks.
Huh, nice. I've never had a patio door that locked.
No.
At the house, at my parents' house,
Right.
The patio door never locked. Our security was a piece of wood that was
Right.
stuck in the track.
Yeah, if you're struggling with it, just get a piece of wood and shove it in there. A clothes pole
Yeah,
is always
exactly.
good.
So, and at the condo, I was on the second floor, so I figured it was safe enough.
Yeah,
So
and that one didn't lock either.
Never locked. Sold it and it still didn't lock.
As is. If you have a track rail that's damaged and the door doesn't move smoothly, you can get a replacement track or a repair rail. Some tracks can be just pulled up and a new one put down. There are also repair rails that can snap over the existing rail, or for some doors, the old rail can be pried up and a new rail tapped in place with a rubber mallet. The replacement rail is called a cap, a sill cover, or a track cover.
Okay. Do you have to remove the door?
Yeah, you would lift up the door and swing it out from the bottom, or for some wood doors I've seen, you'd remove a wood stop on top and then tilt the door out from the top and lift it out of the track.
Okay. How do you replace rollers?
To replace damaged rollers, you're going to have to remove the door to get to the rollers. And this is a good project to have a helper help you lift the door up and put it on a workbench or table. The roller assembly that holds the rollers will be held in place with a screw or screws, either from the front and back edge or from the bottom, or it'll snap in place and you're going to have to pry it out. If you're replacing the rollers, you can go to the manufacturer or shop online. Some online companies will help you pick a replacement with a picture of the old roller assembly. Some online companies with replacement patio door parts are Swissco.com, and that's SWISCO, gashardware.com, that's GASHARDWARE, and primeline.net, that's PRIMELINE.net. And with the track and roller replacement, you need to match the size and the design.
Okay. How do you replace the weather stripping?
If you have damaged weather strip, some styles are set in a groove and they can be pulled out. Some have adhesive backing and they'll need to be peeled off. You need to match the base width and the height of the weather strip, which can be rubber, vinyl, foam, felt, or pile.
Okay. How do you clean the tracks?
You should routinely vacuum the track to prevent a buildup of dirt. Use a soft cloth and a mild soap solution to clean the track. And a toothbrush or a small soft brush is good to clean into the corners and against the edge of the door. Clean out the weep holes, which are small round or rectangular holes at the bottom of the track that allows water to drain to the outside. Some weep holes will have a flap or a baffle covering the hole, and you can check that they're opening by putting some water in the track. Use a small wire to open the flap if it's stuck. You could also have a small gap at the end of the track that allows water to drain, so make sure it's not filled with dirt.
Okay. Should you lubricate the door?
Andersen Windows and Doors recommends using a dry lubricant spray directly onto the rollers for smooth operation and to extend their life. They do not recommend using lubricants directly on the bottom track because it can cause the rollers to slide rather than roll, and lubricants on the track collect dirt, which can make opening the door more difficult, and the dirt can build up on the rollers. And many lubricants can damage an aluminum track.
How do you get to the rollers with the spray?
You can remove the door and spray directly onto the rollers,
Ew.
which is a good project if you have an old door and you've never checked the rollers. You can see the condition of the rollers and check if there's a buildup of dirt and debris. But if you don't want to remove the door,
I do not.
you can use a dry lubricant spray with a tube and spray the rollers from the bottom edge or through the adjustment holes. If you have a door with adjustment openings on the bottom face of the door, you can remove the decorative caps and spray through the holes. Andersen says they strongly recommend not using a standard WD-40 or any oil-based lubricants on sliding patio doors.
Okay. What is a dry lubricant?
It's a type of solid lubricant that's mixed in a fluid that evaporates quickly, just leaving the dry lubricant. After you spray the rollers, you should move them to distribute the lubricant evenly before the fluid evaporates. Dry lubricants are great for rollers because they don't collect dirt, they're long-lasting, and they perform well in high and low temperatures. Some top-rated dry lubricants are from Blaster, that's Blaster, 3-in-1, that's the number 3-IN-ONE, and WD-40 has a specialist dry lube, so it's not their standard WD-40.
Okay. What are some other maintenance tips for keeping a sliding glass door working well and looking good?
Andersen Doors recommends cleaning the glass with a liquid glass cleaner or ammonia diluted in water with a soft cloth like a microfiber cloth. Don't clean glass in direct sunlight. It can cause the solution to evaporate too fast and it'll leave streaks.
What is an ammonia solution?
They recommend 1 tablespoon of ammonia to 2 cups of warm water. You should never use sharp or abrasive cleaners, pads, or scrapers on the glass. Some doors have an exterior coating on the glass. Never use a pressure washer on the glass. It can damage the seals, gaskets, and other parts. Wash the hardware with a mild detergent and a soft cloth. Don't use harsh or abrasive cleaners. Use a chrome polish for brushed chrome and polished chrome finishes.
Okay.
Oil-rubbed bronze and distressed bronze hardware doesn't have a protective coating, which allows it to naturally oxidize, giving it a distinctive look. Oxidation forms a thin layer called a patina, and this helps protect the surface from corrosion. The patina is usually green or greenish-blue in color. You can occasionally apply a light mechanic oil or mineral oil to bronze to deepen the color and the sheen. You'd allow the oil to stand for a few minutes, then wipe off the excess with a clean cloth, but follow the manufacturer's instructions for your door. To make it easier to clean some door hardware, remove it from the door and then just reinstall it.
Okay. How about using a 3-in-1 oil for the bronze hardware?
Yeah, Baldwin Locks, for example, recommends 3-in-1 oil for their bronze locks without a protective coating.
Okay.
For the frame of the doors, Pella, Jeld-Wen, and Andersen all recommend using a mild soap solution and a soft cloth for their patio doors. They don't recommend power washers. For wood frames, after cleaning the door, apply a thin layer of wood polish. Restain the wood routinely to protect the wood and maintain the appearance, but follow the manufacturer's recommendations for your door. Some top-rated mild dish soaps are from Dawn, D-A-W-N, and Palmolive, P-A-L-M-O-L-I-V-E.
Some companies recommend using a microfiber cloth for cleaning.
Yeah, microfiber is very soft and non-abrasive for the glass in the frame. It doesn't shed lint, and it's better at trapping dirt. You can wash it and reuse it hundreds of times. When you're cleaning microfiber, though, don't use bleach or fabric softener on the claws. It'll damage the fibers. You want to use a gentle detergent in cold or warm water, then allow it to air dry or use the lowest heat setting on the dryer. but a couple of companies don't recommend putting it in a dryer.
Okay.
To clean the insect screens and interior grills on patio doors, use a water and mild detergent solution and wipe both sides of the screen with a damp cloth.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add?
The key to keeping a patio door operating smoothly is routinely vacuuming the tracks, lubricating the rollers, and checking the door alignment. Check the weather strip yearly before the cold season, and check the caulk around the doors. Clean the frame and lock hardware a couple of times a year to prevent a buildup of dirt and help prevent corrosion, especially in coastal areas.
Cool. Let's wrap this up.
You can subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review.
You can check out our home improvement videos on our YouTube channel, Fix It Home Improvement.
And you can subscribe to that as well.
You can download our ebooks, Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, books 1 through 19 on Amazon.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a 5-star rating and review.
You can email us at fixitpodcast@gmail.com, and you can follow us on Instagram, Fix It Home Improvement.
Thank you for listening.
Talk to you next week.
Different.